everybody, welcome to the Samosa Budget. This is Shika, and I thought I would just film my week 4 check-in for March. So here are the expenses. Today is the 28th of Saturday. We can safely say that we aren't going to spend any more money this given week, and most likely for the rest of the month, as we only have 3 days left, so that should be really good. I've filled in the weekly spending tracker, which tracks my variable spending along the left, and as you can see, it's very lean. We didn't make any food purchases because we went shopping last Saturday. We had one expense for fun, and we had quite a lot of spending in the home stuff category. One was a new printer because the one that we've got is super old, and I really wanted to get one that does double-sided printing, and it was a good deal, so we spent £92.50 there. My Apple Pencil replacement cost £80.10, and then we also bit the bullet and purchased a desk setup, as both hubby and I are going to be working from home, and it wasn't ideal working in the dining room, as I was using the office setup mainly, but it's not really fair, and the dining room isn't really set up to sit at for long periods of time, and it's really hard to switch off and have a work-home balance, especially given the current climate. So there was an IKEA order for £130, 50p, and £40 of that is the delivery fee, but what can we do? So that brings the total for home stuff to 310, and then we stocked up on some cigarettes, and that was just under £42. There was some spending that was not part of the variable that happened, and that was sorry about that, I made a mistake at the top. So we paid to change the flights for my parents, and that was £104, and then we also signed up to Disney Plus for the year when they had their offer for $49.99. So we're going halves with some really good friends of ours, so we're just both pitching in £25, and that's basically the surprise transactions along with these, which I would say the IKEA desk situation is more of a need right now, especially when we want to make our workspace as productive as possible. So then now what we'll do is let's spin us over. So I filled this in with the values from the tracker. We've got the £1.50 for the fun category. We've got £310 for home, and that's left us in the red for £239.61. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit more. And then cigarettes, we spent £41.60, and that's left us in the red for £25.38. So what we need to do is make sure that we put enough money aside to cover these amounts, and I'll just tell you the total now. So that's £264.99 that we need to make sure that we budget for this over budget in April. So now let's fill in my monthly expense tracker, which basically looks like the weekly expense tracker. I put all the values in at the end of the week and add everything up. So let's just do, okay. So food, we spent £0. Fun, we spent £1.50. And then we spent no money on fuel, and no money on eating out, no money on household, and we spent a significant amount on home stuff, so that's £303.10, and then cigarettes £41.60, and 0 medical and 0 on cat. So as you can see here, I've got week 5 and I will be filling in week 5 for the last 2 days, but what I'll do is I'll incorporate everything into March end of month figures, and then what I'll do is I'll fill in sorry, you can see the top there, the monthly totals. So Monday and Tuesday I will track in my next weekly expense tracker, which will look like this, but Monday and Tuesday won't be part of the totals here for April. I'll make sure that they're part of week 5 for March, and then the monthly total will be a true monthly total. Update, welcome to the Samosa Budget. I'm Shika. I had just finished filming my week 4 check-in, where I update the total of the weekly spends, and I put them into a summary page, which has all the categories, my variable categories, and tells me how much is remaining. And I was adamant that there would be no more spending, and I was wrong. We spent $34.79 on Sunday, and the reason for that is we had to get some food for a relative of ours who isn't leaving the home, and whilst we were out we supported a local business and got very small pizzas each, which was weird because we have been eating at home 100% of the time, so that was odd. And I got some nice smelly things for the bathroom because, you know, we're all at home now, so let's let the bathroom smell nice. So I spent quite a bit on that, £12, and then I got some treats for Kitty because we sprinkle some of those yogurt meat tubes over his raw food to entice him to eat it, and then we're slowly lowering the amount that we give him. So I have updated all of these figures here, and then I've also updated the check-in page. So whereas there was no food spends, that's been updated to $11.48, updated eating out to the £9, and those nice smelling things were almost £12, and then the yogurt tubes and some placemats to put under his feed bowls, $2.37. And what I then did was I updated the monthly sheet because of course these figures needed to be updated, and what I've done is, because we've already run out of money this month, what we did was we used some money from our savings to cover the small amounts. Did I cover this one? I'm just gonna check if I covered it. But we covered the £12 for the food and Kitty's treats, because it wasn't much of a hit to our savings to just take a little bit from there. But obviously this isn't a habit you sort of want to get into. And let's check. Okay, so I have covered this $25.38. And by cover I mean I've taken from our savings. So I'm just gonna take that out and put a 0, because what that means to me is that I don't need to cash flow it next month. I don't need to set aside any money to cover that particular category. So the big one is the home stuff, February. So I'm just going to reference these figures for the monthly total here and incorporate them into the last month's column here. So food last month was 235.92, fun was 210.11, clothes. Okay, so here these are some old inserts, so I don't have I'm not tracking clothes anymore here. So fuel was 139, eating out, oh no, okay, you see what I did, I put it in the monthly totals, didn't I? Okay, I'm just gonna copy these over. Need to look where you're typing while writing. So 123.99, 52. Our budget for home stuff is £50 a month, so that is on a normal month. That's what we try and stick to. So here is when I'm glad I'm using these erasable pens, which I had no idea existed until I started watching YouTube videos. And then I thought, hey, game changer. It's a bit annoying because you can still see like a ghost image, as you can probably see there, but it doesn't bother me enough to stop using them. The convenience of being able to use pen that I can erase is worth it for me anyway. So these are last month's figures. So I already know that a lot of these figures are going to be well over. As you can see, last month for February we spent £235, and in just 1 week in March we spent £229.59. So for sure we've gone over this month. I'm just going to zoom you out. But let's just see, it's always good to do these weekly check-ins to figure out and get a good idea of what situation we're going to be in financially in terms of what's left at the end of the month, before the end of the month actually comes and you don't have an opportunity to change the course of your spending. I'm also planning on doing a flip through and to explain my inserts, as these make sense in my head, so like a lot of things, so I imagine that they probably don't make sense to anyone else, but I will try, and in case there is something that is useful for you, I'm more than happy to be able to help someone unknowingly, knowingly. So drop me a comment below if you'd like to know anything, and can I get a taco emoji if you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.